Rattigan. I will be a senior at the University of St. Thomas. I am a Justice and Peace Studies and English double major, and the HECUA program that I did was a domestic program, Writing for Social Change. I chose Writing for Social Change because I felt like it encompassed everything that I really believed in that I think that English and writing should be paired with justice and peace and social change. That's why I combined those two things in the first place, so this just seemed like a perfect program to do because I feel like people don't often think about using writing or literature as a way that you can really learn about change and social change and social movements. So that's why I took Writing for Social Change. Typical week, we would have class on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it was really awesome. We met at the Minnesota Textile Center on University. So you walk in and there's looms everywhere and old ladies knitting, and it was a great space. And so for class, we would have a book to read a week, and it would be a book of poetry, a novel. We read a couple graphic novels, which was really exciting and not something you typically read in college, in a typical college class. And we would just have discussions. We would talk about how we felt about the book, if it moved us, if we didn't like the book at all, why we think we read the book. And a lot of times it was interesting because people weren't afraid to disagree with each other. And so we had these really great group discussions, and so the class was very discussion based. There was no one leading it. We all kind of got our say. So that was what a typical class was like. And then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you had your internship. I interned with another guy in the class. Me and Miles interned at Central High School in St. Paul. It's about a mile away from St. Thomas. And I worked with CTT, which stands for Central Touring Theater. So we worked with a lot of inner city kids, and they did basically social change theater, and that just opened my eyes up. I had never thought about trying to create social change through something as cool as an artistic movement, and these kids wrote all their own plays, and I learned a lot from them, and it was really cool to see them grow and see them kind of deal with what's happening in their world and the world around them. And a lot of them, have a lot of stuff to go through every day, and it's amazing that they even get themselves to school sometimes. So it was a very impactful internship for me. Oh, how do I even choose? My favorite thing that we read, it was a combination, I think, between Cormac McCarthy's The Road, and then we read What is the What? And The Road was just a phenomenal written book. It's about what happens after the apocalypse. And so I think it was just interesting to read because we're reading about, we read a lot of kind of devastating things, and this was probably the mother of all devastation, even though it was somewhat of a made-up, obviously, story. But nobody ever writes about what happens after the apocalypse. You write about, how the apocalypse happens and how the destruction of the earth, but what happens after that. So it was a really interesting dynamic, and it was really depressing, but it was just really well done. And then What is the What is about the genocide in Sudan and the lost boys. And so we did read some really hard stuff, but it was just really cool to see how reading something like this could change people or make people care about it, which is kind of what we were trying to do as writers. So it was cool to read people that this is kind of what they do, is they try to change the world through their writing. I would say definitely go for it, and don't be scared by the fact that it's a domestic program. I feel like oftentimes people are like, oh, international study abroad, which is great. That is an excellent experience as well, but doing a domestic program in the Twin Cities it's like having the best of both worlds. You can still be involved in what you want to on your campus, but as well as having this whole other world, and you learn so much about the Twin Cities and just urban life, and you really hone in on think globally, act locally. I highly recommend doing Writing for Social Change because it allows you to really take control of your education.